An NHL insider links the Toronto Maple Leafs to multiple players for the trade deadline, and I'll break it all down for you coming up on this episode of Hat Trick HQ. But before we get into it, just want to say that 81.9% of you guys watching this aren't subscribed, so if you're not subscribed to the channel and you love the NHL just like all of us here, make sure to go down below, hit that subscribe button, we really appreciate it. But with that said, let's get right into the first topic of the video today, which is NHL Insider links Leafs to multiple players. And as we take a look here, this is NHL reporter David Pagnotta has linked the Leafs to Chris Tanev, Sean Monahan, Ilya Lyubushkin, Sean Walker, and Alexander Barabanov. And we're going to talk about three of these guys here today. A couple of names that we are going to go too in-depth in on today are Chris Tanev and Ilya Lyubushkin. We have talked a lot about Chris Tanev here on the channel. Obviously, he'd be a great fit for this Leafs team. A stay-at-home defenseman, kind of something that a lot of the fans are looking for come trade deadline. And Ilya Lyubushkin, kind of the same sort of ordeal. We have talked a lot about these guys on the channel. So if you want to hear more in-depth conversation about Tanev, about Lyubushkin, go check out one of our videos here on the channel that talks about the both of them. That will really help you out. But we're going to get into the first player we're going to break down today, and that is Sean Monahan. And as we take a look here at Sean Monahan, despite being just 29 years of age, Monahan has gone through plenty of injury issues, missing over 75 games in the past 3 years. But in 2023-24, he appears to be turning the corner. He has played in 49 games for the Canadiens this year, putting up 13 goals and 35 points over that time. And given what he's been able to achieve with young players around him, if he can join the star-studded Maple Leafs lineup, things could get even better for him. While many assumed his career may be coming to an end due to injury, the former Calgary Flames first-round pick has persevered, and if he can stay healthy, he can look to be a key depth piece for this Maple Leafs team chasing Stanley Cup glory. And as we take a look at Sean Monahan's stats, obviously this guy has been a great player here in the NHL for a number of years. Great on the faceoff dot this season at 55%, a guy who he's going to go out there, he's going to win you a faceoff. And like they say here, he has 35 points, 13 goals here with this, kind of lacking Montreal team this year. A lot of young guys around. They are looking good out there. Just, a couple more years of development and Montreal will turn the corner here. But Sean Monahan on a very team-friendly deal here at $2 million. You can go out, acquire this guy. It could really help this Maple Leafs team bolster their roster for this playoff run. You slot him in as the 3 seed behind John Tavares. And even we've seen him play wing multiple times here in Montreal. So if Sheldon Keefe says, hey, I'm fine with the centers we have, maybe they try him out on the left wing where they're not as strong. They're stronger on the right wing than they are on the left wing. So maybe you try him out here. Maybe you try him out at the center. But I really like this move for Toronto. I think you can get this guy for, a good price. I think where Toronto and Montreal have the rivalry, I think the cost will be a little bit higher than other teams going to acquire. We don't really see Montreal and Toronto trading with each other very often, so I really do think they'll have to give up something half considerable here to bring Sean Monahan to Toronto. But I definitely think it's an option that Brad Treliving and the Toronto Maple Leafs will look at. Like I said, this is a guy, 29 years old, who's having a great season here with this Montreal Canadiens team, a younger team, so if you throw him on this roster with all the stars they have, Tavares, Marner, Matthews, Nylander, and I really think this guy could even pick up his point production playing on this team, and it'll be really interesting to see if they go after him. Like I said, we haven't seen very many Montreal and Toronto trades over the years, so it'll be interesting to see what they go for him, what they will give up for a guy like this, and it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, $2 million team-friendly deal. He's expiring after this year, so maybe if you like how he plays the rest of the season, maybe you try to get him back in free agency. But I really do think that they'll look at this guy, and I think this is a guy who could really help out this Toronto team going into the playoffs. But we're going to get into the next player here, which is Alexander Barabanov. And some of you Leafs fans may remember this guy. He is a former Leaf, and they say here when Barabanov was traded to the Sharks from the Leafs, not much was thought about the trade. At that point, Barabanov had just 13 games of NHL experience, and he had not performed well. However, he turned things around immediately upon joining the Sharks, becoming a fan favorite right away. And they say Barabanov has played 176 games in his career, with the Sharks putting up 31 goals and 102 points in that span. And, Barabanov, I think, could be a great option for the Toronto Maple Leafs to look at here as well. This is a left winger. I believe his contract is 2.5 right now, so kind of a little team friendlier deal. He's a guy who can immediately slot in to this third line left wing, even if you want to give him a shot on the second line left wing. Move Matthew Knies up to the top. I really do think this is an option as well. And I think if you put this guy in with Tavares and Marner, I think his production is just going to go to the ceiling, or Tavares and Nylander, whichever they see fit in this situation. But since leaving the Leafs, this guy's almost been a point per game player over his career. So he's really picked it up with this Sharks team. He's putting together, a pretty good year. I mean, he was dealing with injury and stuff like this, so his production has been a bit down this season. But the potential is there for this guy to go back to the great form he's had here in previous seasons. Like you said, he's been a fan favorite here for the Sharks. Kind of a bright spot of the Sharks team, now that they're not competing as well as they were. They're a little bit slipping in the standings a little bit. And maybe getting this guy a new home is what he needs here. You put him on this star-studded roster with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and this is a guy who's just going to add scoring throughout your lineup. Maybe you slot him in the bottom six. This is a guy who's going to get you points wherever he is in the lineup, and I think this could be a good addition to acquire for the Maple Leafs if they're looking for a winger. Come trade deadline, $2.5 million is a good deal. They may have to give up a pick or a prospect to get this guy here, but definitely see it as an option that they do look at. We're going to get into the final player we're going to talk about today, and that is Sean Walker. And I know a lot of people are probably excited to see Sean Walker's name come up. I know a lot of you guys that watch the channel leave comments saying you want a defenseman, and this is the perfect defenseman here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I believe he is on the last year of his contract at $2.65 million, so it's a little bit of a friendlier contract as well. This is a guy who you can bring in for fairly cheap, and as we take a look at Sean Walker's stats so far this season, he has 17 points in 50 games, but the big thing to look at here is the block shot total. 69 blocks and 53 hits as defenseman here this year. And last season he did have 104 blocks. And this is the guy that you want if you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. A lot of people say they want a big, snot-nosed grinder type defenseman, and this is what you're getting in Sean Walker. This is a guy who's going to go to battle for you every night. He's going to block the shots. He's going to lay the hits, and he's a guy who you kind of want on your team in a playoff situation because he's going to put it all on the line for your team to try to go out there, try to win the game, and I really think this is a good option, a little bit of a cheaper option than a guy like Chris Tanev. Maybe if they think they can't pursue Tanev, or they think that maybe they're out of the race for Tanev come trade deadline, they may bounce back on a guy like Sean Walker, because you're getting a similar type player as Chris Tanev here in Sean Walker. He's going to be a net front presence here. He's going to block the shots. He's going to stay at home and help this Leafs team out defensively throughout his time here if he does get traded. And like I said, if the Tanev deal doesn't go through, I do think they maybe look at either Lyubushkin, former Leaf, or Sean Walker. And in my opinion, I think Sean Walker is the guy you kind of want to go at. He is on the Philadelphia Flyers this season. They are on a bit of a tear, so maybe they won't want to give up a guy like Sean Walker. But I think if you add some value here, maybe add a piece that Philadelphia needs in this trade, I think you could get him here for a fairly decent price. But out of all these options here today, the one that I really think that they will go after here is Barabanov. I think if they're looking to add some scoring throughout their lineup come trade deadline, I think Barabanov is the guy you bring in. You can get him at a fairly decent price, and he could just pop off with this star-studded roster here in Toronto. But let me know down below in the comment section, what do you think? Which one of these guys do you think is going to land in Toronto? Let me know down below, but we're going to get into everybody's favorite topic here, and that is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to David Osborne. He says, awesome channel. So glad I found it. Great journalism. And shout out to you, David. Really appreciate that nice comment on yesterday's video. Really love seeing all your guys' comments down there. But shout out for you Thanks for your support, and we really love to see it down there again. But make sure you go down below, leave a comment on this video. You might be featured on the next comment of the day. Let us know, what do you think? Who do you think's going to land in Toronto come trade deadline? And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to go down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road for 3,000 subscribers. Really appreciate it if you join the road with us by hitting that subscribe button. But if you enjoy the NHL, make sure to check out this video we did yesterday on the Leafs as well. And as always, I've been your host, KC. Keep your stick on the ice.